And I'm supporting it with a jack stand, and I've already taken the wheel off. Now I'm gonna take the caliper off, and you never want to let the caliper hang by itself. You want to support it with some wire or a bungee cord. It's cardboard down. I've got a slight drainage problem on my patio, and I got a lot of mud. So I have to fix that after. I'm going to do that after I get done with the car. I'm probably going to make a retaining wall. What I'm actually going to do is take the whole caliper off, and it's this bolt here, and then there's another one down. I think it's down around, I think it's right there. That's the other one. They're both 19 millimeter. You have to jack up the back knuckle so you have clearance to get the caliper bolt out from this anchor for the knuckle. Take a piece of wire and wire the caliper to something so it won't fall. You don't want it to hang by the hydraulic line. The rotor, to remove, you have to remove this for the, well, actually you don't have to take the parking brake cable out, but you do have to take, this is for the backing plate, this is the other one for the backing plate, and then you got to take all the hub screws out, one right here and then one up here, and then one over here, and then another one down here. And this is the ABS sensor, and then there's a bolt for that, but they always get corroded and it always snaps off. So if you're really careful, you don't have to remove it. You just don't want to damage this when you take the hub off or put it on again. And these are all these are all 17 millimeter. Now, showered with dust. Rust. Through an arrangement of universal joints and extensions, you can loosen up all the hub bolts. And you don't want to take out the hub bolts, just screw them out, because we're going to use the bolts to bang out the actual hub. So here's like the hub bolts. You don't want to remove them. There's two more on the other side. We're going to use these to bang the hub out. You never want to bang on this. This is a dust cover. It's plastic. They're they're almost impossible to get. So if you ruin it, they have some, but they're like $40 just for, and they don't even look like this. So I don't even know if they're the same. Good to bang with, because you're gonna bang out that wheel hub. Careful is the careful rules the day. You want to be careful. You don't want to damage the ABS sensor, and you have to clear the hub from the parking brakes. And use the securing bolts on the back. Screw them out about halfway, and then bang on them to pop the hub out. There's the wheel speed sensor, or ABS sensor. And so we're gonna the whole back of this is rusted away. There should be another outside ring around there, and so we're just gonna take the whole plate off. But we gotta unhook the parking brake, so we have to take this one spring off. That's how easy that is. Yeah, I think you have to take the shoes off so I can get this to pop open. That's why you always wear safety glasses. It's just something you should be wearing right now. More than likely, if your parking brakes are adjusted correctly. See, now I can pull that out. I can push this pin out. See, it was like this, like that. See, it was in there like that. So you open it up. Then you press that pin out. There's the parking brake actuator and the pin. We loosen the two nuts on the back for the plate for this to come off. So remove them completely off. Maybe that needs to be banged out. I have to get my persuader. The whole backing plate. So if this is jammed in there, just hit this a couple times on the ground. It'll pop it out. So we're going to reuse this. Handles that the brake shoes go into. So this just folds back up like this. So I'm putting on the one brake shoe and the anchor. Don't forget to lube these places where the brake, maybe like a bearing or surface at the pad do the other touches. Side. Of course, some lithium grease in here. And this end goes in. I already put grease on the other end. So this goes in like this is the adjuster. So turn this counterclockwise, expands it, which is good to know if you have to adjust the brakes through the little inspection cover on the rotor, because these aren't self-adjusting like car shoe brakes. You have to, part of the maintenance routine is going in and adjusting your parking brakes regularly. And they're not really parking brakes, they're e-brakes, emergency brakes. You should be able to stop your car with your emergency brake. Like on this car, it's got the stick in the console right to the right of the seat that you pull up on. So if you push in the button to release it, you can actually use the lever to stop the brakes. It's just like applying the brakes on the car. You never want to just pull up on the stick though without pushing the release in, because what you'll do is you lock up the brakes and you go into a spin. So now we got to put the springs on. spring's got to be, it can't be just sort of like kind of hooked in there. It's got to be flush against the brake pad. I mean the brake shoe. Like that. And you gotta make sure that these are where they're supposed to be. And everybody's on there. This one isn't on it. Okay, that looks good. So now we got to put the bottom one on. That one goes across like that. Yep. And the same with this. The spring just can't be hooked in there. It's got to be all the way flush with the shoe. Yeah, I think that's about as best that's going to be. So you have to be careful of this. That's a ABS wheel speed sensor. You don't want to damage that. You're actually supposed to remove it, but those bolts get corroded and they usually snap. So get a bolt, one of the wheel bolts ready, and put it through. I mean the hub bolts. And then you gotta slide this in. And you want to start screwing that in. And you want to do that to the other side, the top. You don't want to. I'm doing this so I don't damage the wheels, ABS sensor. Okay, that's good. So now we got to put the rest of the wheel hub bolts in. So then you want to hand tighten all the wheel bolts on the back. So now it's time to tighten them all down. Don't forget the ones for the to hold the backing plate on. I'm using a combination of extensions and universal joints to tighten up the wheel bolts. Sorry, there's much room underneath here for. Basically, that's how.
Probably the easiest way to probably
tighten
do
them
this.
all up.
Let's probably then put the rotor on. So it must be adjusted out a little bit too far. I have to turn this back a little bit. There. So what you do is turn this around. And you take some. Oh. So just put that on like that. If you get a new set of rotors, I think you want to make sure you get a inspection plug with it. I think you can buy them separate, but on an older car like this it might be real difficult. So take a pair of needle nose pliers and just pull it out. And then you're going to need some kind of a light to see in there. The actuator on there. So you should look at it when you put yours together. You want to turn it counterclockwise. Take the rotor off and check the parking brakes, but once you get the your disc caliper back on, that's going to be the only way, unless you want to take the disc caliper off again. So to get the caliper back on, you're probably going to need to push the piston back. So you have to stick a screwdriver down, or non-greasy screwdriver or something, and pry the pads apart a little bit. Well, the one pad's stationary, this one's stationary, and this one's on a piston. The piston's in back of it. So when you put on your brakes, this applies against the rotor. And what it does actually pushes the rotor against the stationary one. That's how you get the braking force. But this one has to be pushed back in a little bit, so it will go on the, so it'll fit on the rotor. One lug nut to hold the rotor on the hub. Upper bolts, and one doesn't have a washer, and the other one does. That's because this right here, it holds your brake line. So the one with the washer takes up for this. It's 19mm socket. Calipers on, so you can go ahead and put the wheel on. I'll do the final tighten once I tighten up once I do the final torquing, I guess, of the bolts when I lug nuts, when I put down the when I let the car. It's hot out here. When I take the car off the jack stand.